Hey, and we're back on Warptest, and today we're going to talk about Microsoft buying GitHub. I know, panic, hysteria, meltdowns from people online, tech bloggers, DevOps, and developers, many of whom are stuck in the past, and this is why. Let's talk about it. So, Microsoft officially announced it after it leaked. They're buying GitHub for $7.5 million in stock, and people have problems with this. Why do they have problems? I went on Twitter, I went on Facebook, and a bunch of other places and asked people why they were having such a big problem with this. Many of whom had an even bigger problem explaining to me why they had the problem. One guy out of everybody was able to explain it to me, and it had nothing to do with Microsoft and everything to do with one big tech giant taking ownership of all those repositories on GitHub. Let's talk about Microsoft. Microsoft today is not the evil empire. It never really was. I mean, they did some particularly silly things during the Obama era, but we're way past that, aren't we? Today, it's Satya Nadella's Microsoft, and this ain't your dad's Microsoft. They're the king of open source. Nobody is as into open source as Microsoft today. Just look at GitHub and you'll see that they have a slew of projects there. Open.NET, Git, VFS, participating in the Electron project, and a slew of other things. Sorry, that's slew twice, but really a slew. Lots, many, a multitude. Cross-platform app development. Not only does Microsoft create possibly more cross-platform apps than anyone, but they're great, these apps. Look at Office. Look at Office on mobile. Look at Office on the Mac. Look at the Microsoft Android launcher. And go to my blog and read about Windows on mobile. This is an incredible user experience. You can have Microsoft apps, services, and more all on your device. What else? Visit Microsoft, the actual company. Go to one of their events. Go to their store, and you'll see Macs, iPhones, Android phones galore, and more. Windows with Bash. Yeah, you got Linux, Bash on Windows. Ubuntu Linux running as a Windows 10 app. All this, and listen, just really listen to what Satya Nadella is saying about empathy, social awareness, inclusivity, and more. Understand what he's done. He's cleaned up a lot of issues around Microsoft prior to the acquisitions and behavior to the developer community. He's pushed the issue of the developer community outside of Microsoft in front and center. Just look at what happened at Build 2018. It shows the developers as a community are valued by Microsoft, whatever platform they're on. What else? Microsoft, well, they purchased Xamarin. That should be all you need to know. Just look at what they've done with it. If you haven't installed Visual Studio or .NET Code in the last few years, then you might be one of these people that's stuck in the past. And look at Xamarin for Visual Studio. Look at what else you can develop in Visual Studio. You can pretty much develop anything. Yep, anything. Frankly, it just boggles the mind that people are having such a big problem with this. I get it, it's a free market, you want to move to GitLab, go ahead, move your repos, update your Jenkins scripts, do whatever you gotta do. But just realize one thing, GitLab is hosted on Microsoft Azure, so whether you're in GitLab or GitHub, you're still connected to Microsoft. So whatever scares you about that, the fear should still be there. What makes all this exciting? GitHub adds incredible value to Microsoft, not just Microsoft adding incredible value or rescuing GitHub. This isn't an acqui-hire, this is an acquisition for benefit. Understand that Microsoft has huge ambitions for the developer community. They have huge ambitions for onboarding and retaining developers and bringing people back into working in Visual Studio. And not just developers, but everybody in the lifecycle management chain. Xamarin, like I've already mentioned, from Visual Studio, GitHub for your repositories, and all the other features like issue tracking, story management, and more. And now imagine that within the next few months or year, Microsoft Teams is integrated with that for real-time chat and collaboration. And one other big thing, another acquisition that really worked and has now been rebranded and rebuilt for developers and DevOps and QA and other people in the lifecycle management chain, HockeyApp. HockeyApp is probably going to have tight integration with GitHub, and this is cool because the new HockeyApp, now called App Center, is amazing. If you haven't checked it out, go, run, rush to check it out. If you're a developer, it's completely worth your while. The future of cross-platform lifecycle management has never looked brighter, and all this is thanks to Microsoft and the vision for Microsoft that Satya Nadella has. Microsoft clearly realized that they need to win over the doubters and calm these fears, and I think they're going to do just that. You want my advice? Stay where you are with GitHub, give it a chance, understand that it's really easy to move off, but what does it hurt you? You're not going to wake up and discover that Microsoft have locked you out or created some kind of vendor locking mechanism. It's time to give Microsoft a chance. That's my advice. You can take it or not. And that's what I've got to say to you. From my point of view, I'm really happy about GitHub acquisition, and so should you be. Have a great one, and thanks for tuning in.